Plastic knife.
You have a machete or machete.
You know, in New York, brothers, we have a nine.
My brother, I tell my brother, yo, depending on where we going, yo, leave the knife out. Don't bring the knife. You can't bring the knife up in there.
Okay.
Ooh, that's the wrong camera.
Yeah. Pass that back. I guess I'm about to cut that home, huh? Can't cut that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, take it home and celebrate.
Frazier, take that person.
Oh, I mean,
It's time.
He used to get mad. I mean, he get mad.
that's beautiful.
He's always messing with me.
Look at who's
Frazier used to take that.
Hey,
That's you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, a lot of them dudes
What you doing with that?
A lot of them
Get your hand out of my
Every
pocket.
time you
What's the
pop up
guy
on the
that
screen,
kept,
I try to tune in and see what you're talking
what's his
about.
name, man? He was Marvel's back then.
We,
He was telling.
I want to say peace and blessings to the new brothers that came today.
Cassius Clay. No, he kept calling Cassius Clay.
Just met them earlier this week,
Stop calling me.
live from the Know Thyself, Love Thyself bookstore, 5 East 2nd Street,
Tell you my name is
Mount Vernon, New York. Peace to Heavy D.
He called me that.
We have a circle every Friday here at the bookstore,
Yeah.
and we give some teachings, and we have a wonderful drummer, and we do some chanting. But today I just want to give an introductory talk about Sufism, what it is that we teach, and some of the practices that we use. First of all, Sufism comes under the esoteric traditions of the world, as far as what we had in ancient Kemet, what we had in Tibet, what we had in ancient India, and also what's still being practiced in Africa. It's the same tradition of the science of the transformation of base metals into gold, or what they call alchemy. Have you guys heard of alchemy?
Yeah.
What's alchemy?
I know it has to do with like turning things to gold.
Yes. Everything has an inner and outer practice. They have what they call an exoteric teaching, which is outward for the masses,
Yeah.
and an esoteric teaching, which is inward for those who are on an inner path. So outwardly, yes, alchemy is the transformation of silver, copper, lead, steel into gold.
It can really be done.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can be done.
So
It can be done.
What it, and a person who does alchemy is an alchemist, right?
Yes.
And so wouldn't the alchemist basically be able to create gold?
Yes.
Nothing?
Yes. Yes. I know a sheikh in West Africa. He can take some regular pieces of paper, put it in a tray of water, look at it with his beads and recite some words, and in front of your eyes it's going to turn into money.
And money?
Money that you can spend. There's a bear shit in the woods. But
That ain't gonna happen, man.
no, real talk. I know a sheikh from Senegal.
Man, I'm out. Cut it out.
His
nobody coming out
response,
the
man,
water.
his response was classic.
The sheikh who can do it, I don't want to say his name on camera,
Man,
but
stop it.
he's from Senegal, West Africa, and he lives in South Carolina right now. We could go down there and see him if we wanted
Let's
to.
do it. Let's do
That was
it.
spooky, bro.
I need some.
Nah, real rap. He can. I would say his name, but he don't. That's not something you do in public. But we could go down there and see him, and he could. Anyway, but all this is the exoteric alchemy. It's not the real alchemy.
Ah.
It's tricks of a magician.
Okay.
The real alchemy is turning your base qualities, greed, lust, and anger, into the qualities of Allah, mercy, compassion, and truth. The base metals is symbolic of something outward, which is how do we turn man into Allah? That's the real alchemy. How do you become God? How do you become Allah? That's the change. You see what I'm saying? The outward alchemy is dealing with metals to gold, but it's a symbol of the transformation of man into God. And that's the real alchemy. One of my teachers, he said, don't be surprised if somebody can walk on water. He said, insects walk on water. Don't be surprised if somebody flies through the air. Birds can fly through the air. The real test is, can I not slap a nigga if he step on my Timbs?
Facts.
You see, he said dead. See, this is the real, this is the real thing. We in New York City. Did this nigga step on my Timbs? How many people in the hospital over that?
And he ain't say sorry.
And he ain't say sorry.
So,
The real alchemy is how you can control yourself and not end up in jail or in the cemetery over some shoes.
Over materialism.
Over materialism. Mind over matter. Mind fools the body thinks the mind is crazy. That's Black Moon. So these are the practices that we need to learn. To be an alchemist is to be a high scientist. Because inside of the human being, there's energies. Energy from the physical body, energy from the mental body, energy from the soul body, and energy from the spirit body. You got all these different energies going inside of you. And one of those energies is going to be predominant. You ever met somebody, all their energy is in their head. They're mental. Oh man, God, what is this? Wonder what this top is made out of. I wonder, I could just figure out what this top is. This plastic here is from, this plastic here is not from China. I think this plastic. Mental. The Sufis say, if it's not pertaining to Allah, it's not knowledge. No matter what you're studying. Noble Drew Ali, he says, they asked Noble Drew Ali, what should we study? Noble Drew Ali said, study yourself. They asked him a second time, what should we study? Excuse me. He said, study yourself. They asked him a third time, what should we study? He said, study yourself. The most important thing you can learn in life is this question, who am I? And it's amazing we came to this point, who am I? Because earlier this week, I got a haircut in the Jamaican barbershop next door. While I'm getting my haircut, the barber in the next chair looked at me and said, who are you? Like my energy just shook, and he's a straight Jamaican. What would make a black man look at another black man and say, like, who are you? That's a deep question. If I ask you, who are you, what would you say? If I ask you, who are you, what would you say?
I don't know myself. What is my government name?
You would give me your government name? If I ask you, who are you, what would you say?
If he asked me who I was,
Yeah.
I would ask him if he knows who he is.
Woo! Fire burn! Selassie the first. If I ask you, Kwa, who are you, what would you say?
Allah.
You say I'm Allah? If I ask you,
Asiatic Moorish American.
Asiatic Moorish American. If I ask you, what would you say?
Anne Marie's granddaughter, I'm sorry.
Your avatar. So I'm in there and the man asks me, who are you? There's so many answers to this question. But the real, I told him, I don't want to stir up the whole barbershop. 'Cause if I would have gave the real answer, I might not have got my hair cut. The guy might have been shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. So I gave him the watered down answer. I said, I am someone who decided to find God. I am someone who decided to find Allah. And when you go on this journey to find Allah, you really are going on a journey to find yourself. When you know yourself, you will know God. Salam. I'm so glad y'all could come.
Welcome.
When you go on a journey to find yourself, I'm so glad you could come, Avatar.
Hey, bag, you about to knock everything
So-
down.
So I told him I'm someone who decided to find God. And that I had to take a journey to go to West Africa to meet some holy masters to show me who I truly was. But the real answer to the question, who am I, payback, if I ask you, who are you, what would your answer be?
My answer would be that I am who?
I am who?
Oh, he dropped the bomb in his joint. Who?
Yes. Oh, man.
Who is a very powerful word in Arabic. Allah, you heard the Muslims say Allahu Akbar. Kul hu, Allahu ahad, la ilaha illallah, hu, Allahu. This who is very important when you're trying to know yourself. The question, who am I, the answer is actually in the question. If you have 2 + 2 is 4, the answer to 2 + 2 is in the question. So the question, who am I, the answer is I am who. Who is an Arabic word that means God. H-U.
H-U?
H-U. You can chant. I know people that chant, ooh. I guess I'm one of those who chant it too. Not saying I know people. I chant, we chant in our school. Ooh. The owl is wise. They say the wise owl, right? What sound does the owl make? Whoo, whoo, whoo.
All day.
The owl is chanting one of Allah's name, and it's causing creatures to say the owl has wisdom. Because they said you are a, how do you spell human?
H-U.
Oh, they're trying to tell you who you are. Who, man? H-U-M-A-N?
God mine?
God, mind.
Man
equals mind.
Yes.
You are the existence of the mind of God in physical form.
So human doesn't mean monster?
No.
I almost said if you're white, but I shouldn't say
Oh.
that. I got some Caucasian disciples. It's not about color. But that white man in the White House is
Nice.
the devil.
Be
I
nice,
always
man.
have to say that. He's the
I
devil.
mean, no, he is.
So I don't even want to get on that. So anyway,
Don't get distracted.
who? Yeah, don't get distracted. Stay focused. I'm so focused, man. Who am I? Who man? They told you you were a who man being, a human being. Man means mind, and who means God. So the human being is the mind of God being, existing. You are actually, or you could say who man means God man. You are God being man, who man being. Straight up. When I clicked, I said, what? Even in the English language, they telling you that you God. They shouldn't have told me I was a who man. I'm a Human being. The who, which is God, being, man, consciousness. So the answer to the question, who am I am who? Man, being. I am God, being man. It's clear. But man suffers from amnesia. We forgot that we was God. You are a being of light, inhabiting the physical body, which is in reality the grave. We think everything in the world is bass backwards. It's back. Everything you got from the West, throw that shit in the trash. It's false. What they call birth is actually death, and what they're calling death is actually birth. We came from the omnipresent consciousness of Allah, existing at all places and all times simultaneously, not limited by this physical earth we call the body. As soon as that soul came into the baby, that was the death of the soul from being omnipresent to being limited in this physical form. Can you grasp that concept? You was an omnipresent being with no physical body. The Prophet Muhammad said that on the 60th day of conception, the angel brings the soul of the human being into the baby in the womb of the mother. So you was a light form brought by an angel into the womb. You're not the physical body. So that was the death of the soul into the physical body, which the mystics say this is the grave, the earth. They're going to bury you in the earth, but that's false because you're already in this earth. And at the time of death, they're going to put this earth in the ground, and that which was giving you life will go back to Allah, which it came from. So that will be the birth of your soul back to the omnipresent plane with God, Allah, at what they call death. So the Sufis say you have to learn to cry when others are laughing and laugh when others are crying. Cry when others are laughing and laugh when others are crying. When the baby is born, people are laughing. A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through. That's Melly Mel from The Message. That's old school. Y'all probably don't push me because I'm close to the edge. At the time of birth, everybody's laughing. But the mystic is crying because this baby is not omnipresent no more. And at the time of death, everybody's crying, but the mystic is laughing at the funeral saying, now this person is free. I ride past the cemetery with my daughter when she was a baby saying, those people in the cemetery is not dead, they're alive. I had to teach her that there's no such thing as death. Why could you be fearful of something that's not even real? There's no death for you. There's no death.
It's a transition.
It's energy is always changed. Energy is neither created nor destroyed.
That's right. Just changes.
First law of physics. Say it again.
It just changes state.
Energy, ice, water, steam. Energy just changes form. You will never die. You will change form and increase your vibratory rate to what they call heaven or the spiritual plane. So the mystic said, you know what? Since I know I'm an eternal being and I don't have a birthday and I'll never die, let me start to figure out something that's beyond this physical matrix of north, south, east, and west. Let me figure out what is it. Let me ask you a question. If you go to sleep and you sound asleep and you have a dream, who is it that's seeing the dream if you sleep?
Honest answer?
Yes.
Honestly?
Yes.
The government, me,
I
whoever I'm with,
He said that.
whoever, it's like,
That's true.
like say I dream about somebody, because I know that they, like people can dream together.
Yeah. Two people have the same dream.
Kind of watch
Yeah.
you while you sleep.
Yeah, and then
Government watch you
and
while you sleep.
I would guess God,
Okay.
like, or
If-
Allah.
If I ask you, I'm gonna ask. I didn't ask him no questions yet. If you are sleeping, who is it that sees the dream?
God. It's your consciousness.
Your consciousness.
Well, consciousness.
Who's witnessing the dream?
Who's the witness of the dream?
Who's the witness of the dream?
Yeah. And you're asleep.
Your consciousness.
Consciousness is a good answer. You see what I'm getting at? If you're asleep, there's an aspect of you that's not asleep,
Never sleep.
that never sleeps, that's witnessing the dream. And then when you wake up, you're telling yourself what you saw in the dream.
Yeah.
So there's more than one self inside of you. So who is this self that doesn't go to sleep?
The higher self.
Ooh. Huh?
The higher self.
The higher self. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't get sick. It don't have a birthday. It don't never die. It's always awake, and it's always conscious, and it sees and knows everything, but you're not in touch with it when your mind comes back. You get the physical 5 senses are captured by the taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing of the physical plane. So you forget that there's an internal plane beyond these 5 senses that is more similar to a dream or the astral world or what we call the plane of the soul. Because there's 5 planes of consciousness: the physical plane, the astral plane, the mental plane, the soul plane, and the spirit plane. 5 planes of consciousness. The physical body we know.
Wait, say that again?
The 5 planes of consciousness. The physical world we know. The astral world is what you're going into the dream world. Beyond the astral world, you have the world of the soul. Beyond the world of the soul, you have what's called the world of the spirit. And beyond the world of the spirit, you have what's called the world of Allah or the world of God. These are 5 different planes of consciousness.
So wait, the physical world is really only one sense.
Okay, break that
which
down.
is touch. Because your brain has to, the nerve synapses have to touch for you to receive that light and then experience it.
Okay. So you're saying that
But
sight...
you said five
5
different-
senses.
No, but you said it's 5
5
planes.
planes.
Yeah.
So if the physical plane is only touch, the other planes have to be probably experiencing the other senses that we're calling taste. You know what I mean?
I see your point of view. I see that. That could be rationalized like the 5 senses are each a part of one of the 5 planes. I can
Right.
explain it better in Arabic. The 5 planes in Arabic are called Mulk, Malakut, Lahut, Mulk, Malakut, Jabarut, Lahut, and Izati. These are the 5 planes in Arabic. The Mulk is the physical world. The Malakut is the world of the angels and jinns. The Jabarut is the world of God's power.
What's a jinn? Now, if a jinn is a demon, is that why they call jinn that you sip on?
Yeah, it's a spirit.
Is it
Yeah.
similar to calling the spirits?
Yes.
It takes over,
So
yeah.
that's why they say he's sipping on gin.
Yeah.
You know, alcohol, they call it also spirit.
Yeah, spirits. I know why they
You
call it
see?
spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and on the bottle it says neutral spirits in fine print.
Why it says neutral?
And
Because the gin can be, it's neutral because it's not activated till it goes in the person.
Right, when it go in you, then it
A
activates.
Taoist
Right.
monk, yeah, a Taoist monk will drink alcohol and go into a deep state of meditation. A violent person in the street will drink alcohol and that gin and have them, nigga, what? Bam.
don't remember
It's the
anything.
same thing, but it's neutral until it goes into the practitioner. So, a jinn, there's only 3 creations in the world. Allah said, I created mankind, jinns, and angels. All these so-called, my teachers in Africa told me the jinns are the ones that have the spaceships. They have advanced technology.
Grays.
I
Grays.
knew that.
Yeah.
The Grays.
So the grays are the ones who enter you
These
once you
things-
drink it?
Yeah, well, it's the crazy thing is, my teacher in Africa told me it's 8,888 species of jinn. It's not
help
just
us.
one type of jinn.
Help us.
8,000.
8,888 types of jinns. Like we got Chinese people, Italian people. It's different types of people, right? So can you fathom that there's different types of jinn that we don't see?
Are the jinns above us?
No. The highest creature in the universe is man.
Over the jinns.
Yeah.
We are
Excuse me, I got 2 tastes of Richard Franklin.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Tell me what it means to me. You selling Aretha? That's what's up.
I sold both tastes of them.
Check the barbershop next door.
Or a young one, I touched.
So back to the. After these messages, we'll be right back. So a jinn.
That wasn't a jinn.
That was an
That was a
example of a
jinn.
jinn.
Yeah.
The jinn was in him?
Yeah, for sure.
He
For
didn't
sure.
For sure.
He came around so somebody called.
Because he probably has some jinn
Something to drink. He's looking for something.
and it's activated in his consciousness.
I want to let it there.
Yeah.
I'm
At the exact moment we talking about
Yeah.
jinn,
Okay.
the jinn comes to the door.
Ain't no
but now what I'm
coincidence.
saying though.
I just watched the movie.
But listen, the good part is you have Muslim jinns and non-Muslim jinns. Not all jinns are evil.
Word.
Not all jinns are evil. You seen the cartoon? They got one saying do something good, and one saying do something bad. They took that straight from what they call the jinn culture. Some jinns fast in Ramadan, make salat, and go to Mecca and go to Hajj. There are some Muslim jinns. What was crazy is Buddhist jinns, Jewish jinns, Hindu jinns, Christian jinns, Muslim. Jinns have different religions just like people.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yoruba in Nigeria, they got some fucking jinns. Excuse my language. In Nigeria, they got some. Them jinns that come and have some water and cup with you, sit down and have a talk. Them jinns in Nigeria. Are you kidding me?
What's up?
In Senegal, I know a lady who's married to a jinn. Y'all want to hear some far out stuff?
Somebody made some jinns.
I know a brother in our Sufi order who told me his father had 2 wives. One was a jinn and one was a Senegalese woman. He said, I grew up with jinn brothers and sisters. He said him and his jinn brothers and sisters would be playing outside, and at night his mother would call him to come in the house, and his jinn brothers and sisters would run into a tree and disappear. This is his reality. This is what Mapinda experienced. I didn't say his last name, but the brother named Mapinda grew up with a jinn brothers and sisters in West Africa. In America, we are limited to our scope of the experiences of spirituality because we grew up in the West where they don't have no spirituality. We got
They say you
So you
superstitious.
think right now, like, a jinn gonna come take you over?
no.
What makes a person a jinn?
You gotta have protection from jinns. How many people saw the Wizard of Oz? What happened to the Wicked Witch? What burned her?
Water.
Water burns a jinn. The worlds are topsy-turvy. Fire burns in this world. So in the other world, water burns. Jinns are made of smokeless fire. So in Islam, we make wudu to protect you from voodoo. The wudu protects you from jinns. You wash your hands with water, face with water, head with water, ears with water, and feet with water. It puts a seal on you from these jinns. And you recite Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, 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 words of power. Our Sheikh Ahmed Bamba said the wudu and Bismillahirrahmanirrahim will protect you from jinns. You best protect your neck, Wu-Tang Clan. You have to have protection against these jinns. How many times did somebody go to court and say, why you kill your family? I heard a voice telling me go in the house, kill everybody. How many times did that happen? I heard a voice telling me go in the house, kill my wife, kids, and kill myself. In a court case, you can't prove it, but the Holy Quran says the jinn talks to people. The jinn is a whisperer. Smack that nigga.
Yeah.
He heard it before.
I know. I see it a lot.
You don't gotta
I
drink
pray it a
the
lot.
jinn to come.
No, it ain't just jinn. You ain't got to
And
drink.
it can come through your family too. Like
You know what it comes to?
It's a lot.
Anger. It can come through
Especially
anger. It
anger.
can come
Especially
through
anger.
like
Your emotions.
Yeah.
emotions.
In the Holy Quran, Allah said the jinn. Now check, he's exactly right.
So that's like the Boondocks when they show the angry elder, that he goes from 0 to 1,000 real quick. Stink meaner, yes.
In what is this? In the Holy Quran, jinns are made of smokeless fire. So what's inside of you that's a fire with no smoke?
Smokeless fire.
Jinns are made of a fire that has no smoke.
Right.
Your heart.
Anger.
Yeah, bro.
Anger feel like heat inside of you, right? But no fire. Lust,
Frustration.
greed, all these lower emotions
So that's the lower
feel like a
self.
fire inside of you, but there's no smoke. It's all jinn related. So you have to find out how can you. Prophet Muhammad said every human being is born with a jinn. All of us was born with a jinn. And they said, oh Muhammad, even you? He said, yes, but my jinn is Muslim. You have to get your jinn to stop giving you negative suggestions to start talking to you about doing things that are positive. Everyone is born with a jinn. Can you get your jinn to practice Islam? Yeah.
I think
Can
that's
you-
what we call it. Some form. The ego is like the jinn, you know. That kind of-
Ego is definitely related to a jinn.
My ego came out
You gotta
early
take
this
him to
week.
Jumbo.
Yeah, for
That's my
sure.
Jen as an artist.
You could be an artist, yes. If you're doing art and you feel a spirit coming with you with the art, you could have an artist jinn. Yeah.
Everywhere I go,
When people black out and don't remember the day before, like I got this friend, he be drinking.
All right, y'all see. I seen the door.
Alhamdulillah. Out, Imam Musa.
Yes.
We having a conversation about the Muslim jinn and can you give us a word about the Muslim jinn and the non-Muslim jinn? What's the difference?
The Muslim jinn and non-Muslim jinn. Wow, that's
I know it's a heavy concept.
early, right? Well, according to the Quran, there's a couple of things. The Quran says that He's created man and jinn for ibadah, worship.
Yes.
So that goes to show that there are some jinns in the world that work in the path of Allah. Now the jinns that we are talking about mostly is the jinns that we hear in those horror movies. I just want to give that kind of description, that picture in your mind.
Yeah.
The picture of the horror movies that they call you to do things. They call you to act in certain ways that's not the pattern of man. So that would be the quick answer.
That's
You
a
know,
good, yeah.
and I hope it was helpful. But I just seen the door open, and I know it's late, so I said we need to check.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm a security person by nature,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to make sure y'all.
Now,
Alhamdulillah.
can someone give you a gin? Like, say, for instance, I'm giving you an example. Like in Flint, Michigan, they poison the water, right?
Yes.
And the brothers and sisters are killing each other, and it's you killing somebody you went to elementary school with. So I'm wondering, can it be given? Because it looks like they're all jinns, zombie-like.
There's a movie, there's a TV program, The Walking Dead.
Oh, classic
You ever
example.
seen that?
No, I don't watch it.
All right.
I know of it though.
But you heard of it, right?
Yes.
So The Walking Dead is it's a movie that's a society of people walking around possessed. They actually died, but they're walking. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's almost like the Thriller movie. Remember the Thriller
Yeah.
video?
Yes.
That's Jinn.
Yeah.
That's Jinn.
It's a
Now,
lot.
can it be passed on? There's a you know Surah Al-Falaq? The 112
Yeah. Cool those
خلق من شر من خلق ومن شر حاسد إذا وقب ومن شر النفثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Yeah.
So that surah, the basis of that surah is those who blow knots to possess the prophet. They
Yeah.
wanted to possess the prophet. They wanted to give the prophet something to make him sick. So that's why many Muslims around, would say the braiding of hair. You know how you braid hair?
Yes.
You get the fake hair and you
Uh-huh.
braid the hair, the human hair, you braid the hair.
Uh-huh.
A lot of Muslims don't do that because of that surah.
Somebody.
Because they try to put something in it. So if you have it, mashallah. You know, I'm not, I don't know. But what we should do is everything that we do, we should seek refuge in Allah for the accursed Satan.
Ameen.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Ameen.
You know, I'm gonna let y'all go. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
You have a blessed night.
Ameen.
Hey, I just talked about you, man, because I wanted to go to one of them. Last year, I didn't make it. I feel bad, but I want to go to one of the dhikr sessions.
On Thursday?
Whatever. I don't know if it could be this Thursday, but we got to do it before Ramadan.
We got 2 more Thursdays
All
left.
right.
Well, it has to be next Thursday, right?
Yeah, inshallah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Let's talk. You got my number?
We do zikr in here later tonight, inshallah.
Really?
I lead a zikr every Friday in the store.
Inshallah. Maybe we got to see. Maybe I got to work it out.
But we can go downtown. It'd be at least 100 people down there. It's beautiful. Inshallah.
Okay?
All right.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you came at the perfect time.
347.
Imam Musa from the masjid over here, Masjid Yusuf Shah. There's a mosque on.
Yusuf Shah?
360.
Yeah. What's the address to the masjid?
10 South 2nd Avenue, 3rd floor.
10 South
You heard
2nd
of Yusuf Shah
Avenue.
before? What you heard about him?
He was a good captain.
He was a great captain, right? He was Honorable Elijah Muhammad's captain. I spoke to his wife, because I would play it down, right? So his wife told me on a phone call, she said, you got to change what you put in there, bro. I said, what I put? She said, you say he was just a captain. I said, yeah, he was a captain. He said, no, he was the East Coast regional captain. So anything that took place in the East Coast, Captain Shaw was in charge.
Alhamdulillah.
So that you think about the East Coast. Just think about the East Coast.
For the
East
whole
Coast is a monster in
NY.
his own.
Huh?
I said the East Coast is a heavyweight in his own.
Heavyweight, right? So look at all the people that came out of the East Coast. You got Malcolm, you got Minister Farrakhan, you got Captain Shaw. You know, you got a whole lot of people. You got me.
I mean. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Yeah, he's the imam of the masjid over on 2nd Street. So that's a lot for the jinns, and may Allah protect us from the jinn. If you learn to do a wudu and recite Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, it can help you be protected from these beings. And some are Muslim and some are non-Muslim. But you said, are they higher than us? No, the highest being is man.
So the Greys ain't higher than us?
The who? No. You know what makes us the highest? In the Holy Quran, Allah said, I offered the free will to every being in creation. And mankind was the only one who accepted the free will.
Nobody ain't want that.
Nobody wanted the
Why?
because with free
If I
will,
could've
you can
picked, I
go
would've
against
said
God.
nah.
That's it.
If I could have picked right now,
With
I
free
would've
will,
said,
you can
nah,
go
keep
against
that.
Allah.
I had a way better life.
Yeah,
Come on.
free
Fuck
will
up.
gives you the choice.
How much of life you fuck up with free will?
Allah said that no creature, the jinns, the angels, the mount. Allah said I offered it to the lakes, the mountains, the
Bro,
trees.
you know
angels.
my favorite.
Nobody.
You know
All
who
the
I
other
respect
beings
the
said
most
we don't
on
know.
earth?
We don't want
Trees,
free
bro.
will.
Right?
The
Yeah,
human
most of
being
them,
said we'll take it.
I had some trees look at me upset one time though.
So all the creatures practice Islam except for man, because we have free will. We can say I don't want to do that.
So the Greys practice Islam?
Like I said, they could be Muslim or non-Muslim.
But I thought you said they don't have free will.
This is a deep story.
I don't know.
What the fuck is Grace?
Oh.
The Greys is not for jinns. Now,
Can they communicate with you?
yes,
And channel to you, right?
yes, they can possess your body. They can walk in and take your consciousness.
It's like God created hurricanes, right?
Mm-hmm. You gotta have like this right here. I got some prayers inside of this pouch to protect me from jinns. He got on a ring.
That's
You
what
got
the
the
pouches
ring?
are for?
That's in my pocket.
Oh, you left it at the house?
That's in my pocket.
This got magic inside of it. I said it on camera. This don't have no magic. Jedi magic. If there was magic in here from Africa, per se, there might be some magic in here to protect me from jinns. That's why the jinn came to the door. Did he come in the store?
Sure did.
He stopped right at the door. Did he step inside?
Nope.
He did not.
Why ain't just step inside?
Because it's protected.
Look what's over the door.
Hey,
So-
Sue, tell me about the mosque that's open 24 hours.
Which one?
Tijani Mosque.
In the Bronx?
Oh, Nah. When I moved to New York, y'all ain't gonna believe this. When I moved to New York,
Never closed. Doors always open.
I lived in a mosque in the Bronx with a Sufi Sheikh from Senegal. And I slept in the mosque with a couple brothers for about 5 months with some brothers from Africa. And we never locked the door. Because there's so much in that mosque, ain't nobody coming in there. And ain't no jinns coming in there. It's the safest place in the Bronx. And it looks like a regular mosque, but the imam of the mosque is a master. When I say master, he know why the wind blows. I met a lot of masters in my life. One of the highest masters I met, named Sheikh Tijan Doe, he lives in the Bronx right now. He's from Senegal, West Africa. If all of us went to talk to him, it'd be like talking to Morpheus in the Matrix. You think I know something? Talk to my teacher. You'd be like, he can.
No, you feel his energy just in his presence. Like a magnet or something.
Yeah. So, the good part is, the Holy Quran said there was two jinns that, two angels, Harut and Marut, came to earth. This is in the Quran. Harut and Marut came to earth and was teaching magic to people. Straight in the Quran. But Allah said some of the magic they taught was not good. And it should not be used. But if I could do some magic to prevent you from having a car accident, wouldn't that be good? Or if I could do some words of power to prevent you from getting sick, or if I could write a talisman and put it in here and no gun and no knife can't go through your skin, wouldn't that make you feel safe in New York? Wouldn't that make you feel good if you had something around your neck and you know if somebody pull out a gun or a knife, they cannot shoot you? I should be selling this shit on eBay. No. If people knew it was in this house, they would run and tackle me and try to get it. Like, what? Imagine. Stick up kids is out the tax. But you don't want this to get in the wrong hands of the wrong person. Nigga be in the bank. Steal everything around and blah, 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 blah. Be like, all right, give me the money. Put everything in the bag.
A true villain.
Don't let one of them. He'll be abused. He be in the liquor store. Ha ha, very funny. Give me all the money, put it in the bag. Because he know there's some stuff in Africa, honestly, it'll make you feel invincible. Invincible. You get some talismans, this is called a talisman. You get a talisman and some words of power, these gunshots will make you levitate. These words of power will make you levitate. Anybody got any questions? I think I talked too much today. Any questions?
It's not. I seen something. It's called an ajin. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It refers to this in a sense.
Yeah. And then it was like something that was taking over somebody's body, but she wouldn't figure out it's there until the person died and they came back to life. And it was like, and then it was like the whole government would just come and try to kill them or like keep them trapped. They can't die.
You know what's crazy?
It's called Ajin. As an E.
Yeah.
That's a type of jinn. It's one of the 8,888 species of jinn. It's
It's a movie?
Yeah,
It's like an anime. You know anime?
Yeah, that's the type of jinn.
Anime. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
It's a type of
Really?
jinn.
I mean, they got Avatar, so they gotta have that.
Now, you know what's... One thing I should mention is that a lot of problems in people's families come from a jinn that's attached to that family.
How do you kill the jinn?
You gotta have some power. You gotta have some
How
power.
do you recognize them?
Abstract behavior is the #1 recognizer of a jinn. Most of the time, if somebody got a jinn inside of them, the first thing they'll do is they'll cut back on taking baths and showers. If you got
Because of the water.
the jinns hate water. The jinn to make the person think, I don't need to take a shower, I don't need to take a bath. No, real rap. If you got any friends and for some reason this motherfucker, excuse me, he stopped taking showers and baths, it's a telltale sign the jinn is messing with his mind.
So before the Moors showed the white people how to bathe, they had a lot of jinns in
What? Message.
Good point.
In Europe, they used to didn't take baths.
Man,
The
listen.
queen of Europe was known to say, I haven't taken a bath in 5 years.
And then she wouldn't take a bath.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
why
she
it's called
wouldn't
eau de toilette. Have you ever seen some perfumes is called eau de toilette?
Yeah.
Because they were so stinky, they was putting on the eau de toilette like it was that was their form of bath was perfumes. They didn't
And that's
take
why
no
we
bath.
shouldn't wear
They-
perfumes. We actually supposed to wear the oils
Yeah.
because the purpose of the
Excuse
perfume.
me.
The oils they selling here?
Yeah.
Because the
It's good
purpose
for you.
of the perfumes were to mask them not bathing,
Yeah.
and
it messes
also
with
the
your
dead.
hormones.
They also used it for the dead to mask because they lived among the dead. Could you imagine being in the same
Yeah.
cave and you
Necrophilia.
still have you didn't bury your people?
Nah, she got it right.
There
There's a lot
are-
of different.
How do you kill a jinn? There are verses from the Quran that can burn a jinn. There's magic baths that I can make that you take, it'll burn a jinn.
Oh, that makes sense why you make the baths now.
Ah.
Oh, he gives us the baths like
What if you were to like
with prayers. He takes water and share with them.
Yeah. In Africa, we're big on taking spiritual baths. A bath is prayers, salt, different herbs, leaves from the forest, verses from the Holy Quran that you put in the water and you wash yourself for 3 days, 7 days. One master gave me a bath. I took that bath for about 5 months. But the bath is designed to break any voodoo or magic that's on. Like what I was saying, a lot of people that have problems in the family is from a jinn that's attached to the family. Because let's say your great grandmother was a witch. I like witches. Let me just say that. I like witches. Witches are not bad. A witch was the one who could. A witch was the same as a medicine man in the village
and that's why they killed them?
because they had too much power.
Salem witch trials.
Salem witch trials was people who didn't like people who were in tune with the nature. A witch is somebody doing alchemy. She's in touch with earth, fire, water, air, ether. She's working with the 5 elements. This is one of my favorite witches. Oh, no, but anyway, let's say your great grandmother was a witch and she made a pact with a jinn or a demon. She died 3 generations ago. Do you know a baby jinn can be 400 years old?
A baby.
A baby jinn can be 400 years old. So she died 300 years ago. That jinn is still attached to her family and is tearing up shit. And people don't know why they're having so much bad luck. I can't keep a job. Can't keep a husband. I can't have no babies. I keep having these car accidents. The jinn is still in the family, but they just think they're having bad luck. It's very common in America for a jinn to be attached to a family.
It's like a monkey on your back.
Like literally. So you have to have some type of divination or reading done, or if somebody just think, I got people that come in the store every day that got jinns having sex with them, and I gotta give them a bath to burn the jinn to keep the jinn from coming and having sex with them. A lot of Jamaicans is, whew. If I tell you the stuff I work with,
I see it.
They open
You say you
themselves
see
up.
it?
I see it.
but there's a bath that can burn the jinn so they don't come and have sex with you no more.
How did Jinn having sex with them? To another person or just
No. Sometimes the jinn is coming in their dream. Sometimes the jinn is penetrating them physically. They feel it. One lady, the jinn is coming laying on her bed. She feels the bed go like that when he get in the bed with her. She coming to get her bath Sunday.
So they can block you from having relationships with.
Yeah.
Like say
Or
your son.
you
Say
get
again?
they could block you from having a relationship with your woman.
What?
It's a
Trying to
whole-
figure out what's going on and
What?
someone on you.
What?
A jinn on you.
I'm single though. I don't know what's going on in the world. Is it stay single till everything's fine?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
take a bath.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm on level.
It's good.
You gotta put people through
I
the
mean-
bath, right? Sufi, you gotta put them through the bath,
I
right?
live-
Royalty, you gotta put them through the bath first. Don't touch them before they take a bath.
Like a lot of times, like if I live around people or people who live with me, one of the first things I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give them a bath.
Draw the water. Let's go. Get in.
So when they take that bath, I ain't gotta worry about the jinns that was with them affecting them.
That would have came in handy when I first went to college. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So all this information would have came in handy when I first went to
You know
college.
what? When people bring strangers into their house, you know, you see them old stories, them old
Yeah.
movies. When people come into their house, they be all messed up. That's the first thing they do. They draw them a bath
Yeah.
and feed them.
Oh, yeah.
So
It
and
makes
this is
So don't bring nobody in your house.
no, not
I'm
that,
saying
not
that.
that. But pay attention to people's energy. You know how many jinns is on the New York subway train system? Most of those people sleeping on the train, I'd say 95% of them are possessed by a jinn.
Wow.
You see somebody talking, mumbling to themselves, straight up jinn.
Oh. You was ever younger, and then you be like in another room, and then you like hear a voice.
It could be jinn. Spirits. Or what if you're in your room and you hear something like a rock hit the wall and there's nobody there but you? They letting you know they're in the room.
Well, will they possess an animal?
So what you do? What you do at that point? I be yelling at them.
You can, but it's best to say
I be like, yo, I'm from New York, bro. Don't play with me.
that's good. But it's good to learn some words of power. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Or if you have some water, it's good to put something in your house to seal it from jinn too. You can write a talisman and hang it up in your house to keep the jinns out.
Can I get some water and just splash around the room?
That'll
Yeah.
work too, yeah. Because the water will burn the jinn.
That's what
I'm not burning my
I tell you, I did that.
The water will burn the jinn.
I did that Sunday, this past Sunday. I blew up. I had an internal conflict and blew up in my house.
Okay.
Got on everybody's case, but I was really out of character, slamming doors and everything. When everybody left, lit my sage,
Yeah.
and said my prayers, and I had to clean the house again because I know that's not what I wanted. Those weren't my intentions. Yeah.
So that wasn't your energy. So we're gonna do some chanting la 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 la. What time is it?
I don't know.
Probably like 10, 11.
You know what I'm very interested in? Oh, can I ask a question?
I love questions.
I'm very interested in
10:30. We're on good time.
like pure African herbs and fungi.
Yes.
Like if I was to go to Africa, I would love to be like a botanist for that and the study of soil.
Yeah.
The soil is very important.
I know a Sufi in our order. He's an African herbalist, and he can work with you to get you started in learning African herbs. The only thing is he lives in where does he live at? Arizona? I think he lives in Arizona. But you have WhatsApp? It's an app on the phone where you can talk to him and see him.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get you in touch with him. Start. If you really want to learn,
Right?
if you really want to learn some herbology, I'm sure he'll work with you and teach you.
Yeah.
And he told me he got herbs that can cure cancer, herbs that can cure diabetes, high blood pressure. The man told me he got herbs that can cure sickle cell.
Yeah, because a lot of it's all information. And
Yeah.
I guess in the sense of Jinn, and speaking in Jinn, it's like the choices that you make
You reminded me of something.
can obviously like lead you down that road where you're not better, you know?
Now, listen to this. One of the Sufi masters I know from West Africa, he told me all sicknesses are jinn related. What's inside of the body causing somebody to have a fever or a temperature?
Imbalance.
imbalanced mucus. In West Africa, they would say it was a jinn. Because a jinn is made out of smokeless fire, and that fire can make your temperature rise. So, if you know how to treat the jinn, or to get the jinn out of the person, it's very possible to cure them from a sickness that was being caused by that jinn. Yeah.
Is it related to emotion?
Smokeless fire, emotions.
I had a question.
I love questions.
So what started Jinn? When did it start?
This is a very good question. At one point, all the jinns were Muslim. The problem with the jinn was the human being. The first jinn to become non-Muslim is who we call A'udhu Billah, or the devil or the shaitan. He was the first jinn to go against God.
But that means that he had free will then.
So, jinns have free will. Jinns and the human being,
All jinns have free will?
I don't know. But I know a jinn can decide to be Muslim or non-Muslim.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you saying I don't know because you do know?
No, I'm not. My specialty is not jinns.
Oh, okay.
I only know about my specialty is words of power.
Okay.
And chanting. But some of my teachers, their specialty is. I was sitting with a man in Africa. He could call a jinn right now, and you can talk to him. Scare the shit out of you. I seen a jinn that looked like the Predator or something in one of them horror movies.
It just manifested in front of you?
So bad, I was like, I don't want to see it. I don't. Ah! Put that, no!
That's like a duppy or something?
I don't, worse than a duppy.
Is a duppy a jinn?
Duppy is a spirit. I think a duppy is a spirit of a person. But it might be more than one form of duppy. I'm not sure. A duppy could be a spirit or could be a jinn. But the jinn, I don't care if I never see one again in life. I don't want to see no more jinn. But the only issue is if you want to reach God, you're going to have to go through the world of jinns, angels, and prophets. Because there's other worlds higher than this world based on the vibratory rate. So if you want to go through what they call ascension or enlightenment, you will come in contact with some jinns, angels, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, the prophets. You will travel through these worlds to get to the world of what we call Allah. Because you're ascending.
So jinns are above this world?
But they can inhabit this world. Because you seen the genie in the lamp? Why they call it a genie in the lamp? It's a jinn in the lamp. You rub the lamp and it come out in smoke with fire. It come out in smoke. They're making cartoons off of jinns. Aladdin is based off of jinns.
Before I came into these teachings, like 2013, I came across this person, Kevin Trudeau, that opened up my mind to like vibrations and frequencies and stuff. And he was part of secret society, the Brotherhood, and he's also the author of Natural Cures. So he's locked up right now for that book and for other things that they ain't want him exposing. So he has this organization called the Global Information Network, which is Jinn for short. Like, do you think it has something to do with that, or do you think it really stands for like what it stands for?
Wow, Global Information Network is Jinn for short.
He is called Jinn.
But Jinn
Damn,
is
that's
spelled.
serious.
But Jinn is spelled D-J-I-N.
But it could.
DJ? Oh.
D-J-I-N.
But it's
The
what
D is
you
But it's
silent.
still. It could be phonetics.
So when you talk
Yeah.
about Jinn and Jews, it's not spelled G-I-N?
But it's the same Jinn. It's phonetics. This what you talking about? It could be Jinn related. If you call it Jinn, it's Jinn related.
You said there's 8,888 different types of jinn.
Yes.
Me and him know about one called Ajin. I know about DJIN, that's how it's called Arabic.
Yeah.
And then what he was just saying.
Yeah.
And then I know about the genie. From Aladdin, there's two genies. The red one and then there's the blue one.
Okay.
Ironically, the Matrix, the red one and then the blue
The
one.
red pill and blue.
There's a red genie?
Yeah, there's a red genie.
Inside Aladdin?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he becomes,
I gotta watch
the
that
man
again.
becomes a genie with his wish.
Jafar?
Jafar becomes a genie, and he turns into a red genie, and he becomes a jinn.
Right in the movie. I believe it.
I don't remember red genie.
The guy with the parrot?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't
He turned into a
remember.
red genie. What else? Yeah, it's a couple of things that I've seen that I just
Now you're saying weight is probably gym related.
yeah. And I never knew that there was so many different types.
Many different types. Just like it's different types of people, different types of jinn. A baby jinn could be 400 years old.
So is this the lowest level though? Because if you're talking about ascending and then jinns are above.
Earth is now. This is man, y'all asking
Because when you die, it's
Earth
still
can
gonna go to
be.
the next stage.
Earth is the meeting point for heaven and hell.
No matter what you do.
My master told me, based on your consciousness, you could be living in heaven on earth, and based on your consciousness, you could be living in hell on earth. So it's all based on where you are. Two people could be in the same room, and one person's in heaven and the other person's in hell. It's an individual state of consciousness. Because the prophet Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you. So heaven and hell are both states of mind and consciousness. You have to decide, do you want to live in hell or do you want to live in heaven? Based off of your thoughts, words, and actions, your consciousness determines where you are. I love questions, yes.
If I know a prophet, hypothetically speaking, like if I knew a prophet, and I don't know, I don't know at that point. If I know a prophet, though,
Yeah.
I just follow.
If you know a prophet in this time, are they living? They live in New York?
Yeah.
Where they at?
Wait, see, that's another thing I'm worried about. It's like, if I knew where a prophet was, should I tell people? I feel like I shouldn't because how the world
What
is.
makes somebody a prophet?
Huh? I feel like the way people gravitate around them.
Nah, that just means you're infectious.
Infectious?
Yeah, 'cause you could be a good food selling dog food and people gravitate because you got money.
Nah, I'm telling you, I know. I can't say, like, I can't say to y'all, like, yo, I know 100% because it's only
If
my
they have
opinion.
positive energy, I would say listen to them.
But I feel with my heart and mind
That's all
that
that
man is a prophet.
That's all that matters.
So learn from them.
I'm trying to.
That's,
And protect them. They always
I would learn from
I'm
them.
trying that too.
Yeah, because if you meet somebody walking that path, learn from them. That's what I would do. The best thing you can find in life is an enlightened being that can teach you how to reach enlightenment. Is a good teacher. That's the best thing you can find as a good teacher. It's like, I always tell people this. I can go in Chinatown right now and go buy a Shaolin sword style manual from the real Shaolin temple, go around the corner and buy a Shaolin sword, open the book to page 8 and cut my arm off. Because I'm just learning from a book. So all this to say, you have to have a living teacher to show you these systems.
The experience.
Yes, experience is the best teacher. My teachers told me if it's in a book, it's not a secret. There's some things you can learn from a master that's not in a book. And these are the real teachings, or the real keys to open the doors inside of you.
You think it's possible in my lifetime to do all those things you said you see your masters do?
Yes,
So I could walk on water and instantly transmission myself from here to Africa?
yes,
I'm talking about me.
yes.
Alright, bet.
I'm
That's all
talking
I
about-
know.
Yeah. The best way to do it is find a master who can do it.
And for me to find one from not knowing one is just to put out the frequency to find one?
I will give you a good example. There's 313 masters on the planet Earth at all time.
So when one dies, another one is born?
No.
Or does one
When
or
one
just-
dies, somebody else will
Become-
move up into their chair, into their seat.
Huh? Okay, somebody who's here already.
Yes, somebody's already here who's on the path to being a master will get
Oh.
raised up to one of those 313 masters.
Okay.
Each one of us has a soul. You know how somebody shoot a flare up into the sky to let you know where an accident or something happened, or a carnival has a light that goes up in the sky and people will say the carnival's over there? When your soul gets to a certain point, it shoots a light off into the heavens.
There you go.
The masters in that area will see that light and set off a chain of events in your life for you to meet the master that you're supposed to be with. Literally, this happens. The highest masters meet on the astral plane, like we meeting and have conversation. I was peep game. This is the science. There's a high master in the middle called a Ketub. Under him is two masters. Under those two is four, north, south, east, and west. Under those four is 7 planes of existence going across the planet Earth.
Like a pyramid?
Yes, with a master in each 7. And under those 7 there's 20 masters in each of the 7 quadrants. This is what we call the spiritual government across the planet Earth. So there's a master in the air. These masters, the highest ones, meet in the spiritual world, and they see the light of the soul. That's like they say, when you're going to meet Morpheus, he knows more about you than you because he already knew you was coming. When I went to meet him in West Africa, he told the people, I already know this guy from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I've been helping him in his city where he came from before he came over here.
Was he photoshopped into that picture? Or is that a real picture?
That's a real picture.
Even the background?
No. The background is Photoshopped. Yeah. It's a picture of him. Okay, yeah, they Photoshopped him into the picture. We could do some chanting just to raise the vibration. Unless y'all got some more questions, I love questions.
I do. I have a lot of questions.
Ask.
But I can't. I'm going to write them down.
Yeah, we're going to come back with more.
Yeah.
Okay.
As for who, the name that I'll give is herbs.
Okay.
That's the name of the prophet.
Okay, yeah. There is something called teaching plants. I have a book on plants that teach.
No, not. It's not actual.
He said the name of the prophet.
The name of the prophet is names of herbs.
Okay. That's good. Give him my greeting.
I tried.
Okay.
Hey, you're not talking about my pops.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So the chant we do is, you got a question?
No, I'm good.
So the chant is La ilaha illallah.
This one right here?
Who gave you that?
It's Flying Gold.
Flying Gold?
Yesterday, yeah.
Read it. Let me see.
What is it?
La ilaha illallah.
That's it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. That's what we
It was
chant.
right after I met you, bro. And then he was like, I forgot how we got on this topic. And then he was saying this. And then I just wrote it down. La ilaha. And that one means Allah is reality, is the only reality.
It means Allah is the only
And he
reality.
said there was another meaning for it too.
La ilaha illallah has an inner and outer meaning. Outward means there's none worthy of worship but Allah. Inwardly it means Allah is the only reality. And it's so powerful because it has 7 syllables. La ilaha illallah. It means God is the only reality. And just by chanting these words, you can go into different planes of consciousness inside of yourself. Because Noble Drew Ali said the closest place to meet Allah is in your heart. So if you want to meet Allah, your true self, you have to find a journey or a key to open the heart to go inside of yourself. There's no God in the sky nowhere. There is no mystery God. The only God that exists is you, inside of you. Not this ego or outward form, but the you that does not go to sleep when you are asleep. That is the divine creator.
Before we start the chant, I got another question.
I love questions.
Alright. So besides the medical weed that the government's messing with, right? Is weed and like mushrooms a good thing to take to like reach higher states of consciousness? Yeah.
On record, I gotta turn the camera.
Yeah.